Hey, we got a call from a listener who asked about strawberries. And you know what? Here, listen to her call.
Hi, Len. This is Sharon Ivnicki. You answered one of my questions about potato growing in containers, and it didn't work. And but I'm looking for information on strawberries. Should I plant them now? But yeah, when should I plant? I bought some at the big box place, and I was wondering if I should plant them now. Okay, bye.
Everything was great until that last comment. You got them at that big box place. Now, the question is, did you get bare root strawberries or are they strawberry plants? Like in studio here, if you take a look on our YouTube channel, we have ever blooming strawberry. We have June bearing strawberries. So they are the way to buy strawberries. If you're getting the bare root strawberries, they need to be planted right away. That they are, the weather itself, we're pretty good on. But if we have a 29-degree night, you're going to want to cover them. And again, you're going to cover them with cloth just to be on the safe side. That they will grow. Sometimes if they're in that bare root state, they may dry out and you may lose some. So don't be worried. It's not that big a deal. But I'll tell you what, garden strawberries are always better than the ones you buy in the grocery store. Immediately when a strawberry is picked, the sugars in the berry, they convert to starch, so they start losing that flavor. They're also perennial. That's the one beautiful thing about strawberries is that they will come back year after year and produce, and you can even put them in pots and hanging baskets. Now, there are 4 types of strawberries. There's June bearing, okay, and there's ever bearing, also called perpetual bearing. Sometimes their fruit is a little smaller, okay. There are, let's say, day neutral strawberries. They're close to the ever bearers, and then there's alpine strawberries. Like alpine strawberries, that. We get some strawberries in hanging baskets, and that those, I think, are alpine strawberries. Sometimes you'll see wild strawberries growing in that. That's an alpine strawberry. They're always smaller. The fruit is smaller, but they continue to produce. And that some people say the berries are better. I love a great big strawberry that's got great flavor. And that June bearers are probably the best. And maybe you want to have a section of June bearing and a section of ever bearing. And that way you can always be harvesting. When you plant your strawberries, I find it hard to recommend that you pull the berries off for the first year. What fun is that? You have to wait then till next year to harvest. But strawberries need to be in 6 to 10 hours of sunlight. They're tolerant of different soils, but they like good soil. So a loamy soil. So that means that you want it to drain well. So you're going to add bumper crop or compost to the soil, mix it together to create that good soil. You don't want to plant them deep. You want to have that crown of the plant to be slightly above the soil. That's one mistake that people make is they plant them too deep and they begin to rot because the crown is dying. They will send runners out. So they don't just grow like one plant. They will grow in tunnel and send runners out, and they become a stronger, bigger mass. It's a great thing. It's a great and fun plant, especially if you've got kids or grandkids. Nothing's better than going out into the garden and picking some strawberries. So pH, they like a little bit of an acidic pH between 5.5 and 7. So again, you want to try to amend that soil. If most of the area this is probably right around that. Get a soil pH test from your local garden center or your agricultural agent, and that they will the agricultural agent honestly will give you so much information you'll be confused and you think that your soil needs to be completely removed and changed. Go to your local garden center and see if they do pH testing, and that they'll do that for you. If you have really bad soil, you can grow them in like half barrels. That's easy. Or raised beds. Now, planting them now is perfect timing. Most of the varieties that you'll find at your local garden center as plants are going to be disease resistant and the best varieties available. Sometimes when you buy them from the large box store,
dun, dun, dun.
yeah, that sometimes, they're just a widget. Let's make money. Well, oh, look, there's a bundle of strawberries, 25 in a bundle, and who knows what variety they are. Again, you need to keep them well watered while they're establishing their roots, especially during like dry weather, even during the summertime. It's incredibly important because its roots are relatively shallow. And again, they keep wanting to send tillers out and back up and then tillers out and back up, kind of like how bluegrass does in your lawn. And they need a lot of water to keep those running and producing flowers, especially all of the ever-blooming varieties. They don't just stop. Weeds are an issue. Weeds will choke them out, so make sure you're hand weeding and keeping them free of weeds. They'll eventually form a mound so it'll choke out most weeds, but unless they do, you're not going to have a good yield, and it's also not going to be a great experience. In winter, some people will take mulch and mulch them. Other people will go and they'll take pine straw, which is perfect because they like it a little acidic. I love that idea rather than regular straw. Regular straw sometimes has weeds in it and such. So again, the winter time, they kind of take care of themselves. Just mulch them in late fall and they'll be great. If you've got any questions about raising strawberries, call that hotline at 609-685-1880.